Hey y'all, it's Brian. Just a quick note before the show to say that we recorded today's episode before the shooting and tragic death of Charlie Kirk. Political violence is a crisis in this country, and we condemn the shooting in the strongest possible terms. Now, on to the episode where we try to advance our ideas and build a brighter future the right way through our democracy. Glennis.
Hey, Ryan.
Episode 2.
Season 2, episode 2.
How's your week going?
It's going.
I feel like I'm having a Mr. Magoo week. I'm moving, which I told you.
Right.
And dropped a box on my foot, so I can't walk. And then I also broke my glasses in half.
What?
Straight in half, like at the nose.
Harry Potter era.
100% walking around with taped glasses. But all of that said, I'm still having a better week than Donald Trump. It is a rough week for Donald.
You're not writing sus birthday cards.
That is like one of many, many problems he's having. Before we dive into that, we have a big ask for all of our listeners. We're so grateful. So many of the people who listened last season are back for season 2. We've been getting tons of messages.
And I love them.
Love them.
And voice notes, which I personally love.
We do love the voice notes. And as part of our return, we want to reach new audiences. And one of the best ways for us to do that is for people to see how kick-ass this podcast is. And especially to prove out to people that even if you don't like political podcasts, you don't want to be in the weeds of what's happening in Congress, this is the podcast for you.
Yes.
And the best way to do that is through reviews. So go to the Apple Podcast app or to the Spotify app, wherever you listen, and go leave us a review.
And 5 stars.
Yeah, duh. It's implied. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for coming back for season 2. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
We were just discussing before we hit record that it's a really busy news week. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and it's very all over the place. It's all over the map.
Yeah.
But we were saying, though, it's all over the map, but the themes of Trump 2.0, the regime, are becoming abundantly clear. One of them being he's getting richer, and America is getting poorer. And Americans are struggling, and he is not, and his administration is not.
For sure. Thinking about how bad this week has been for Trump, I think it was kicked off by one of the worst jobs reports we've seen in many years that came out on Friday that showed not only did we add like a third of the jobs that were expected in August, but they also revised down the previous jobs reports showing that we actually lost jobs over the summer. Horrible for Trump. Way undercut what we were expecting, and slow job growth for economists increases concern in this scenario of stagflation because we're still continuing to see prices increase. Then we saw this report, which was a full year-long report, which was a revision, which showed that over the course of the last year, they had added about 900,000 less jobs than were originally reported, which literally cut the number in half.
I was reading this morning, which is the actual amount of jobs added last month was 22,000 in the entire country.
In the entire country.
Which I'm a visual learner, so I was like, how many seats does MSG have? 19,500. So it's like 1 1/3 of a mayhem ball.
And just this morning, new data came out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is from Trump's own government, that unemployment rates for people 16 to 24 years old are now over 10%.
Yikes.
Over 10% of people from 16 to 24 are unemployed. That has dramatically spiked during the Trump administration. And there's lots of things contributing to that, including like AI, right? And all of these developments, evolutions happening in the economy. But again, Trump doesn't care.
And this is on top of this calamity of drama where Trump dismissed the boss in charge of the stats, essentially, saying, I don't like the numbers, you're out.
Right.
And that's not how math works.
Exactly. Yeah. Very authoritarian. Feels like it's giving Russia for sure. And people are realizing that Trump is not actually looking out for them. So 65% of American adults now say that Trump's policies are making the price they pay for food and groceries go up. All we talked about in 2024 with the election was the price of groceries, right? It was the theme of the year. And for 65% of Americans to say you're intentionally increasing the price of my food is going to have major political ramifications.
Yeah, it better. And Dems need to seize on this narrative moment.
Absolutely.
What is it, 65%?
Yeah.
That is astronomical.
It is.
Do we want to talk about the end of de minimis or not?
I think that you should mention it.
All of this, plus I have heard personally in my group chats over the last 2 weeks, which is the end of the de minimis rule, which I'm not a scientist, but basically the tariffs now you're getting charged and the consumer is absorbing that cost. But the Wall Street Journal is on Trump's neck because they posted a very shareable graphic. I want to read you some of the stats of how things are going to go up. So a stroller, many of which are made in China, that cost is going to go up 36%. Japanese chef knives, which are a luxury that people buy, 24%. Yoga pants, many are made in factories in Vietnam, 56%. Supplements, like nutritional supplements from Canada.
I feel very attacked.
Yeah, I know, me too. I'm like, my fatty 15. 63%. And then
My protein.
cotton slippers, I guess. I don't know why they put cotton slippers on the list. Specifically.
Very specific.
From China, those are going to go up 51%. Trump's saying that the businesses are going to have to absorb these tariff costs. Again, bullshit. The consumers are.
Yeah.
And when you're paying more money for things, what are you going to do? You're not going to buy them anymore.
Right.
The economy is going to tank.
Absolutely. And all of this points to a broader theme, right? That Trump's agenda, his economic policy plans are not here to create jobs for everyday people, are not here to reduce prices for the everyday American. They are to help him and his friends. Because if you give Trump $1 million, then you can get all of your products exempted from the tariffs. And so he's created this system which forces people to come kiss the ring and get on their knees in the White House and beg for crumbs from the government. They get rich for doing it, and the rest of us are paying the price for it.
Totally.
We should be talking about grocery prices, housing prices,
job
market, and health insurance costs more than we talk about anything else. We need to be communicating about these cost of living things that Trump has absolutely tanked his entire reputation on.
You're saying this, and I'm thinking of that disgusting, like, let them eat cake meeting at the White House with tech CEOs.
Yeah.
I think Tim Cook said, "Thank you, Trump," no less than 6 times. Thank you for what? Okay. And then Zuckerberg was caught on a hot mic being like, "We're going to bring $600 billion to the U.S." And then he leans into Trump and is like,
He said, I wasn't sure what number you wanted to go with.
Like, you're so full of shit. You guys are bullshitting us.
Right. It's not lost on me that we're having this dinner of tech billionaires who are deciding the fate of working Americans at the same time that we're seeing huge drops in the number of Americans who support capitalism as a system. And I think that the future of the Democratic Party requires us to put these
pieces together.
That 2 and 2 does equal 4, that people do not feel like anyone is looking out for their interests. They see that the system is being manipulated by the powerful and the wealthy. It's right in front of their eyes.
We have an opportunity. We just need to seize it.
2 other major stories unfolding this week.
Hit me.
One, the conversation about a government shutdown has hockey sticked.
Would it be a Vibes Only episode without talking about a government shutdown?
Truly. It's a sign of the times, right?
Yeah.
Our government cannot pass anything, cannot function, particularly when it's run by Republicans. And so we're always talking about government shutdowns.
I'm sorry. It's your literal job to keep the government open.
Right.
If you were an elected official. Like, I still stand by this. Like, it is our money, taxpayer dollars, that pay your salaries. Do your job.
Absolutely. The reason this government funding fight is so important is because it is basically a replay of what happened back in the spring when everyone lost their minds, myself included, at Chuck Schumer and started the big push to get him out as minority leader in the Senate. Republicans need Democratic votes in order to pass this budget. And it is up to Senate Democrats whether they're going to be able to pass a CR, what's known as a continuing resolution, which we've talked about on Vibes Only before, to keep the government open starting October 1.
October 1.
Ezra Klein and Democrats across the ideological spectrum have come out saying, shut it down, girl.
Yeah. Is that what you believe?
That is where I'm at. Yes. Yeah. I do not think it's not for the sake of it.
Right.
Democrats should set a bar and say, we will vote for this if you do this. But that bar should be incredibly high and they should not move an inch from it. So far, it seems that they want an extension of the Obamacare subsidies. 1 in 4 people with health insurance are about to basically lose coverage with non-employer paid.
I'm on Obamacare.
Yeah, totally. Right. Because Republicans are going to cut the subsidies that are keeping that program affordable for people.
The subsidies are absolutely necessary for people to have access to healthcare.
Right.
Period.
Absolutely agreed. The other major story driving the week is Trump's war on America.
Blitz on Chicago.
In combination, they nicknamed the Department of Defense the Department of War because it was not actually a name change. I will continue to refer to it as the Department of Defense, which is its legal name.
That's also another thing. We can't buy into their like name game. So if you're listening, don't call it the Department of War. Continue to call it the Department of Defense.
Yeah. I'm watching which media outlets immediately switch, literally just to appease him when they know damn well the name is still the Department of Defense until Congress passes a law to change it. He's now threatening to use this department to attack blue cities that he disagrees with. We've already seen the occupation of Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. He's threatening to go into New Orleans and Chicago and New York and other places. But really, Chicago seems to be the focus of the moment. And J.B. Pritzker is ready to go. He's basically lining up municipal salt trucks to block the
United States like
National Guard or ICE from entering the city in large numbers. So we really could see some kind of standoff.
And it's so abundantly clear what Trump is doing. I watched his press conference last week, which I think came out on Thursday, because last week we talked about his hand and his health, et cetera. And that was kind of his, coming out party of like, I'm alive. And he did a really good job, as he typically does. I'm sure he was like injected with like every steroid available.
It's giving Biden State of the Union.
Yeah, literally. And it was a masterclass in A/B messaging. And what he's saying is essentially, these are danger zones. I will go in with the National Guard and make them safe zones because I love the American people. And it's like, no, bro. Like, he completely denies facts. There was like a brave journalist who was like,
why target Chicago and Boston when there are cities in red states with higher crime rates?
Yeah. Really higher than Chicago?
There are, like Memphis and St. Louis.
Excuse me. Do you know how many people were killed in Chicago last weekend?
And he just does the look over there.
Right.
And is like, no, that's not my fact. That's not my worldview.
Right. So
I want to implement my worldview. So I'm going to do what I can as a power within the power of the presidency to do that. You look at all the pieces. You look at what Trump's doing to cities. You look at what ICE is doing and how they're masked and they're pulling people out of cars with their babies in them and taking them to unknown places. You see these oligarch meetings at the White House with the tech CEOs. I don't know historically. Like, I need to run the numbers and look at the actual economic situation in France before the revolution, but everyone online is like, this is markedly worse than what kind of caused people to go find Marie Antoinette.
It's telltale signs of an oligarchic system, exactly what you're talking about. It's extreme use of force that's disproportionate to what's required. It's intentional distractions while they line their pockets, and it's the consolidation of power around the ultra elite as they make decisions at the cost of everyone else to benefit themselves.
There's one thing I want to say, because we're going to release this episode on the 24th anniversary of 9/11, and what the Trump administration and HHS under RFK Jr. has done to the World Trade Center health program is deplorable. They've cut budget by at least 20%, which is leaving first responders. Like, after 9/11, they were told that for like going into the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, that they would be protected just in terms of their health and well-being in perpetuity. And now that's no longer the case. And like, it disgusts me that these people who are now waiting in limbo for chemo treatments or a diagnosis from 9/11 related cancers are not able to access care because of Doge, while Trump makes billions of dollars from the office of the presidency. It's like, are we great again?
Yeah.
Really, America first? It's just so hyperbolic to abandon 9/11 first responders.
Absolutely.
In the worst way. Okay.
Time for our new fave seg.
Our new favorite segment, seg, clickbait
Or double click.
Oh my God, Parent Trap. Okay, so I'm gonna read you some headlines this week, and you're gonna respond. Okay, first up, Governor Andy Beshear launching a podcast on Sirius XM Radio.
Clickbait. We know you're gonna run in 28. No one's gonna listen to your podcast. Sorry.
The House panel releasing the Epstein birthday book, including Trump's poem.
Double click for sure. Huge political implications. Very important to the survivors of Epstein's horrific, nightmarish behavior.
SCOTUS allowing for essentially racial profiling in Los Angeles.
Double click. Really problematic and slippery slope for SCOTUS to be going down to encourage law enforcement to use things like race and appearance to profile people and arrest them.
NATO says it scrambled fighter jets to shoot down Russian drones over Poland.
Double click for sure. A potential escalation of Russia's war on Ukraine could have major global implications. So I have to double click that.
So which one should we double click on?
We have to talk more about Epstein.
Yeah. I think it's worth double clicking because it is such a fissure in the party, the Republican Party. Like, Trump could lie and continues to lie about so many things that his base allows him to get away with. And this, especially online and in like the podcast circuit and the influencer world, is something that many people, some are still backing him, will not let go of.
I have been shocked at the number of people in my DMs asking for daily or multiple times per day updates about the discharge petition in Congress to force the release of the documents and just updates on the Epstein case in general. People really care and are following it outside of the political insider world. And that's what makes this case so potent. It divides MAGA world when almost nothing else does.
And it's like, this book kind of... It's a smoking gun. And it's so clearly Trump. Trump's like, that's not my signature. Handwriting experts have said, this is your signature.
And just look at it.
Okay, Brian, it is your turn this week. And by the way, with these segments, we're still workshopping. And some weeks it might be one of us does Get a Grip and one of us does clickbait. But this week, you're in the hot seat. Who needs to get a grip this week, Brian?
Chuck Schumer, buddy, you need to get a grip. Things are not going well. You have a minus 16% approval rating, and I'm pretty sure that food poisoning is doing better than that right now. But I'm here to help you, and we're going to turn things around together, okay? You can do this. The reason that people are so angry is because you're not doing anything. Nobody wants another strongly worded letter from Chuck Schumer. This isn't The Notebook, all right? So we need you to get it in gear for this government funding fight coming up. We know that you botched it in March, okay? You had a shot and you missed it. This is your chance to make it up. You can be the Rocky of this situation, but you're gonna have to figure out how to hold the line. So Chuck, we need you to get a grip. We need you to get the Democratic caucus together, and we need you to actually fight Donald Trump and shut the government down. It's the only thing that is going to save our country and save our democracy. It is up to you. I wish it wasn't. I wish anybody else were in your shoes, but it's on you. So I need you to get a grip and figure it out. You can do it. Thank you, Senator.
Yes, Senator. We believe in you.
Glennis, while we wait for Chuck Schumer to get a grip,
Come on, Senator.
Why don't you send us off with a good vibe?
Yeah, my good vibe for this week is that in New York State, they've banned cell phones bell to bell. So students will not have cell phones. They're actually going into these little sleeves that lock, and you have to go to a station to unlock them. And I think it's a good vibe. I just feel like even as an adult, cell phones are wildly distracting.
Yes.
I think to not have a phone in school is a good vibe. Also, Governor Kathy Hochul announced a new mascot, Frankie Focus, and people are like, this is so juvenile. And I just think everyone needs to embrace cringe again. Yeah. The mascot's silly.
The mascot for what?
No cell phones.
Wow, okay, got it. For the policy. For
the policy. And it's like, let's just run with it.
Love it.
Like, whatever. So that's my good vibe this week. It's like, okay. And actually, if you're a high school teacher and you listen to Vibes Only and you are in New York State, let us know. I'm really curious. Like, do you see a difference? Is it helpful? Are the students disgruntled, or are they more engaged with one another and the classroom and the teacher?
Protect the kids. I think it's very well documented that phones are terrible for them. They're terrible for their learning. They're terrible for development. I think that it's a positive step forward to get them out of schools. And thank you, Governor Hochul. Thank you all so much for joining us for episode 2 of season 2, the comeback season, if you will. If you haven't already, go leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, and make sure you tune in next week.
Thanks so much.